The sun was setting over a battered cityscape, orange light falling across the cracked concrete and overturned cars on Mercer Street. Above the wreckage, a distant rumble echoed the kind of sound that never bodes well in Marvel's New York, and in the middle of the avenue, a single green figure stood, absently flexing their hands as dust settled from a recent disaster. This was Bruce Banner Hulk, as much a force of nature as a man could ever become. Today, though, the threat wasn't alien invaders, robots, or mutated lizards. It was something, or rather someone, a lot closer to home. A rip in the pavement, a shower of debris, and Jen Walters' Titania arrived in a blur of motion. Not She-Hulk, but Titania, the super-strong, cocky powerhouse, whose brawls could put holes in skyscrapers, and who made it her life's mission to prove her strength to the world. Tall, muscled, and wearing a scowl that almost dared her opponent to blink. Titania skidded to a stop with a thunderous stomp. She and Hulk had tangled before, each time escalating from sharp words to actual blows. This time the challenge was clear. Titania wanted to prove herself once, and for all against the strongest there is. No rules, no holding back. Just raw, brutal strength. Neither of them said much to start. Titania rolled her shoulders. Hulk cracked his knuckles, mountainous muscles rippling across his green frame. From a nearby rooftop, a handful of civilians watched, hedging their bets on which Colossus would come out on top. It started fast. Titania led with a sprint, fists cocked, aiming a haymaker right at Hulk's jaw. He parried with an upraised arm, the shockwave alone flattening 3 nearby streetlights. The window shattered, raining glass onto the street below. Hulk grunted approval or annoyance, it wasn't clear. You gonna let me have some fun? Or just stand around with that grumpy look? Titania sneered, circling, fists raised. Hulk's answer was a ground-shaking stomp that sent cracks sprawling through the blacktop, making Titania jump back. Then he rushed. For all their mass, both moved with shocking speed, a blitz of green and red hair smashing through parked taxis and appended construction barriers. In the chaos, Hulk grappled her into a headlock, only for Titania to wrench free and land a punch that sent the Goliath reeling. She grinned, emboldened. For a split second, Titania held her own. Her blows landed with the sound of thunder, each one enough to buckle steel. But Hulk was used to being hit. He fed on it. The adrenaline, the anger, ironically, the very challenge of it, made him stronger. As Titania pressed her advantage, raining down a relentless volley of hooks, Hulk's eyes burned brighter. He caught her wrist mid-swing, and with a roar that rattled windows for blocks, spun her around, hurling her through a plaster facade. Titania crashed through 2 walls, showering plaster onto fleeing pigeons. She shook herself, wiped a thin line of blood from her mouth, and charged once more, this time grabbing a twisted steel beam as an improvised club. Buildings trembled, concrete groaned. Block after block, they clashed. The earth itself left pock, marked by fist-sized craters and ragged scars from their duel. It wasn't subtle, but then, neither of them was known for subtlety. For a while, the question hung in the air. Could Titania really challenge the Hulk? She was one of the few who dared try. Her blows dented his skin, drew grunts, demanded respect. Hulk, for his part, didn't underestimate her. He'd fought monsters and gods. Titania's tenacity put her squarely among them. The fight raged on, blocks reduced to a junkyard obstacle course. Finally, Hulk cornered Titania against a battered city bus. You don't have to win, he said quietly, voice rumbling low. You never had to, Titania snarled. Maybe not. But I'm never going to stop trying. That was Titania's unbreakable spirit to match her power. The final exchange came. Titania swung hard. Hulk caught her arm, and in a move both graceful and impossibly strong, he spun and tossed her skyward, up, over, and down again, leaving a Titania-sized dent in the nearest rooftop. She lay stunned, blinking at the sky. Hulk approached, offering a begrudging hand. You fought well, he said. No gloating, just respect, hard-earned and honestly given. She took his hand, pulled herself up, and smirked through her fatigue. You ain't rid of me yet, Banner. And as the sun disappeared behind the battered skyline, the 2 giants disappeared into the city's shadows. Rivals, equals, and champions in their own right. No true victory, just mutual recognition, the endless, titanic contest forever unresolved. Both for themselves and for the world watching in awe.